Hello, my wonderful loyal viewers, and all those that are new viewers to the channel. I welcome all of you on board. In today's video, I shall be looking at job and why I think that you should hate job if you're a job lover, and why I think that the century that we are living in now is ahead of job. So if you are still having the job mindset, you are behind the scene. I know some people might find this to be weird, and some might be mad at me. But I bet you, if you stay track and follow me to the end of the video, then you have a choice to make. Now, to stay track to the details of this video, make sure you stay tuned, for I'll be hooking up with you soon with the details of the video. See you. Now, guys, you're welcome back. Now, if you look at it critically, times are changing, and the rules about the game of money and survival is equally changing. The World Economic Forum, WEF, came out with a report that a new generation of smart machines, fueled by rapid advances in artificial intelligence, AIs, and robots, could potentially erase a huge chunk of existing jobs. To even fast track this, the onset of coronavirus has made a lot of companies rely on smart technologies and therefore reducing human relational contact, subsequently boosting productivity, meaning that a lot of high-skilled human labor will be laid out of job. According to World Economic Forum, currently 30% of work is done by machines. However, they estimated that by 2025, the figure will turn out 50-50 for humans and machines. Scary, isn't it? Futurist Thomas Frey predicts that over 2 billion jobs will disappear by 2030, representing roughly 50% of all jobs on the planet. And when this happens, this means that the field of academia will suffer. Now, in that of this, just look at the reflection of what is happening right now. There are a lot of people with highly qualified, decorated certificates, but they can't find job. They can't use them for anything.
So after all the loans my mom and dad picked for me to go to school and be someone in future, it's still a mess. Got my first degree, still no job. Got my master's, still no job. With my doctorate, still no job. It's a mess. I'm tired of this life.
We are in an era where school skill set is becoming obsolete. The rapid growth in technology is making many crafts, skills, and jobs to go out of date in a few years. The new paradigm shift that is sweeping across the globe, that has shifted from the traditional norm of making money, means that you don't have to necessarily go around cap in hand knocking at employers' doors, miserably begging for jobs, but really learning and understanding technological tools that can help you build something for you that have the potential of building you wealth and not depending on a miserable monthly salary. The icing on the cake is that you can identify a business and start it online without necessarily having to rely on investors or go begging the banks to get off the ground running. Power of the internet age. So now, let's see why you should hate job. The number one reason is that job enslaves you for most part of your life. If you look at your life, most parts of your life, your time, your energy is invested into your job. In actual fact, you might think you are free, but you are not free. you are under bondage to systems and rules, and under bondage to your bosses and your job. As some people will put it, job is a modern day slavery. It is slavery that have been moved from the plantations and rebranded, repackaged through the aid of school. Most people are so glued to their jobs. They work passionately like robots, and some might not even have time for themselves nor their families. The worst of it is that the system controls them. They keep on going to school to upgrade themselves, presumably with the illusion of a better salary, which never comes. They get so mentally, psychologically, and physically addicted to their jobs that they can't let go, and working so hard, all just for a salary. According to Nassim Taleb, the three most harmful addictions are heroin, carbohydrate, and a monthly salary. Also, according to Bryant Mcgill, the morality of work is the morality of slavery, and the modern world has no need of slavery. Though some people might earn decent money in their jobs, but they will not have time to spend those monies, or they don't even have time for themselves. Why? Because they are chained to the job. They sleep, eat, and drink the job. No breathing space for them. So let's say you enter the job at age 25. That means that you have 35 years to work this way like a robot, and finally and sadly retire at age 60. Now, at this point, the employer or the company sees you to be weak because they've exhausted your energy. They've taken out all your years of energy, and they will dump you and need fresher blood to work for them. Isn't this a cheat? Consider the fact that you have worked with all your passion and you are leaving behind the job. It's not yours. Money stops. The salary stops. Nothing happens. Nothing comes to you any longer. The job does not know you any longer because it's not yours. Now, this takes me to the second reason. The second reason is that job deceive people with the hope of pension scheme and emolument. The government, as it is, will put in traps to keep people obtaining more decorated certificates so they can get a system running in their favor, as they will get more tax payouts, and will promise the worker a good pension, which becomes a daydream and never comes into fruition, but a lifetime disappointment. Just as George Carlin put it, government don't want a population capable of critical thinking. They want obedient workers, people just smart enough to run the machines, and just dumb enough to passively accept their situation. And this is the sad situation we are in. Sadly, school system that prepares people and orient them with job mindset, orient people to employ the habit and culture of savings, social security, and pension. But I bet you can save your entire working life and it will still be peanuts. It can't do anything for you. Besides, there is a bad financial orientation. Why? Because inflation will catch up with the money. Besides, how many people are able to save with this rising cost of living every day? How many people are able to employ the habit of savings? Also, the sad thing with pension scheme is that the way it is being packaged and presented is not what is being realized upon retirement. The unfortunate mindset and hope people have with it is that it will cushion them at old age. They only go to collect it and to realize that it has disappeared into thin air. There is nothing there for them to collect but loads of disappointments and frustrations. Sad it is. I heard a miserable story about a woman who went to collect her pension entitlement, and upon realizing what she was to take home, she collapsed. Disappointment in pension money has put a lot of senior citizens into closer to being beggars, if not completely beggars. Or they have to now depend, if they are lucky enough to have their children working, to now depend on their children for survival. A friend of mine whose brother went on retirement, and his advice to him said he regretted investing his time and energy into job and retiring, and realized that he has been reduced to zero and now have to depend upon his children for basic necessities. So now, if he had invested all those years into a business, probably it would have developed into a company and given him a fortune. And even in old age, he could be hanging around somewhere at the beach with his lovely wife, sharing sweet, memorable memories. But you see, the rest of the retiree years will be lived in a low and dim light with frustrations. That is why most retirees, it's hard for them to cross 65 to 70. Most of them pass on between that bracket. Just because frustrations alone makes them to develop a lot of heart-related diseases. And eventually, they pass on. Sad it is. Because if you were living in air-conditioned house, air-conditioned car, big salary, at the end of the month, allowances, at the workplace you chew chicken, take keytails, and here's the case, everything stops abruptly. So how do you imagine to live? It's sad. Those that are into business, they have a lot of money. There is nothing like retirement. There is nothing like pension. Even at 60, 70, at 80, you still see them very strong and their business is running. Why? Because they have enough money to take care of their health. It's sad that this is not a situation of the retiree. Because the retiree at pension, at retirement, you leave the job, it's not yours. And how you live is all left to you alone. This takes me to the third reason why you should hate job. And the third reason is that the era of job is over. This explains why there are a lot of college graduates with heavy decorated certificates, but they are jobless. This is because they have been programmed to work in job. They do not understand that the century have moved ahead of what they learned in school. I heard a story about a young lady who has master's degree but has to do Momo for a living, and another guy who have master's degree and other degrees but has to sell eggs on the street to survive, and another guy who has a degree in political science and has to be working at the washing bay. So this is a trend. This is a signal of the fact that job is no more relevant. Certificate is no more relevant in this century that we live in, because we are in a different era altogether. And this is because the 21st century that we live in does not understand the language of job. It understands a different language, and which is creating and owning businesses and not jobs. So during the 20th century, high academic qualification was highly revered And having a university degree opens up lots of doors and opportunities for you. However, with the onset of the information age, otherwise known as the computer age or the digital age, the status quo have changed, and different skill sets are necessary and are needed for survival, therefore overthrowing the traditional mantra of job and gradually making it obsolete. The nature of job keep on changing. It wasn't the same 2015, 10, or even 5 years ago. It keep on changing. Times and technology keep on changing everything. The information age has revolutionized everything, has revolutionized the system and broken barriers, and therefore making it possible for everybody to create and own business with the right mindset. Creating and owning a company is no more a reserve of people who have huge capital to build physical companies, or people who have the financial muscles to pick investment or loans from the banks to establish their business. But with the information age, business have gone digital. So one do not necessarily have to go establishing or building a physical company or factory to have your business running. But with the right mindset and understanding the tools of technology, the language of the 21st century, then you are set to go. Reason number 4 is that job makes the individual to live life below his means. The salary is carefully budgeted, and every drop of coin is calculated. And even with this, it does not span to the end of the month, and it's all gone, making the salary earner start counting the number of days leading to another payday. And it's hard. Sadly, the job worker does not know what going on vacation means. Even if he knows, he can't afford it. So most job workers, they will work in their jobs and even retire and die without knowing where their country's airport is. They live most of their life being average or close to under average. They can suffer low wage, but have no option to quit. Just as Charles Bukowski put it, they never pay the slaves enough so they can get free, just enough so they can stay alive and come back to work. At some point in time, the job worker will think that adding more academic qualifications will salvage his misery by giving him a pay rise. They get back to school, invest some time and energy there, come back with those certificates, with those qualifications, and yet nothing changes. They might get a pay raise, but in most cases, which will be disappointing in what they expected. And they get hooked up and live on paycheck to paycheck because salary is fixed and the needs and demands of the individual does not correlate with what is earned or taken at the end of the month. They finally succumb to the philosophy that cut your coat according to your size. In this case, every bit of coin is carefully monitored, is carefully budgeted, and average life is embraced. the sad thing is that reality starts dawning on them as they get close to retirement age or in retirement, where they realize that they've wasted so much of their years in job and acquiring decorated academic degrees and certificates, which couldn't help them financially. And besides, they've left those jobs, they can't carry those jobs home. Their children cannot equally inherit those certificates. And now, those certificates becomes valueless, become wasted, become useless. They become useless that their children can't inherit them. Job silences the individual's potential and make you comfortable with a monthly salary. Just as some people sarcastically put it, salary is a bribe to make the individual forget your dreams. Most often you meet someone and you ask, what work do you do? And the person goes like, I'm a teacher, I'm a nurse, I'm an accountant. These are not work. They are the job you do to survive. Your real work that is in you has been silenced by your job. Your real work, which would have been recognized out of your value that is in you, has been silenced by job. Your job is not what you are. Your work is what you are. Your job is what you do to survive. Your work is your true value, which you share to the world to make impact that illuminates your true potential, that illuminates your true worth, and that has the potential of making you solve problems, that have the potential of making you who you are, and that have the potential of generating you wealth. Most people will live and work in jobs and die without ever knowing what their work is, without ever knowing what their true value is, which should have been discovered through their work. But you can't blame them much because they are victims of the system of the school, which has trained them and slapped them with skills and professions with the orientation of being used as tools in job. In this case, their orientation put them in always searching for and looking for high-paying jobs. They don't know their potential is beyond just job. Their mindset is glued to high-paying jobs and building enterprises and companies. No, that is not yes. Job mindset is a cultural virus, which is a systematic propofol used to tame the individual and put him under system control such that he forgets his real value in life. Once monthly salary starts trickling in, they build their life around it. In that case, they compromise their true value, their true potential, and instead of doing something better for themselves, they build their life all around their jobs and forget that they are bigger than just their jobs and earning mere salary. The only way is to quit. But most people are trapped. They can't quit because at some point they start dawning on them of the situation they are in. But the issue is that they can't quit. They are trapped, as Bryant Mcgill put it. Quitting a job can be like exorcism, where you cast out a demon. The demon is the foreign spirit who occupies you through your occupation. Your true sense of value and worth would have been realized through crisis. And crisis will result in creative thinking which will help you discover who you are, realize who you are, and this will bring about problem solving. But if you consider job, everything is already programmed and planned for you. All you need is skills from school, and boom, you are set to go. And you'll be doing the same thing over and over and over and over again, and taking the same salary over and over and over again. Because in job, there is nothing like critical thinking. Everything is already planned out for you. Everything is already programmed for you. You just need to have school, college skills, and boom, you are set to go. And you are working. Now, if you do not take advantage of the opportunities that are bound with this information age century, and you cling onto your job, you realize that in the next 15, 20, 30 or so years down the lane, you will be regretting that you never took advantage, and it will be too late. The question now will be, what then should we do to move away from this conventional mindset? And the answer is simple. Humble yourself, put down all the PhDs, put down all the degrees, and understand the new technological tweak and the new paradigm shift that I've seen a move away from owning jobs into owning businesses, and start creating your own, and you are set to go. Now, after watching this video, you might think that, what should I do now? I don't know any business to do online. I have a video in which I talk about 10 ways of making money online. I'll also leave a link at the description. You can check on the description section below. Click on the link. It will take you straight to that video, and you help yourself out. So guys, thanks so much for being with me from the beginning to the end of the video. I really do appreciate your valuable time. In case you have contrary view to this video, please, I welcome contrary opinions. You can leave your comment down at the comment section below. I will definitely respond. I will definitely reply back to you and have a conversation. And in case you find value in this video, I will do appreciate it if you click on the like button and also subscribe. This will encourage me to continue doing more videos such as this. Thank you so much from the studios of DiZCOVASELF. I say, I'll see you again another time.